Oh hi, it's Knights of the Old Republic. I'm hoping to talk smack about a bunch of things today, not related to the game, but we're starting off with a dialogue or a few, and that usually, you know how it goes, so we'll get that out of the way and then see what I can squeeze in. Yes, what is it? If this is about mining or sand people, you go to Churka offices. I just manage the storehouse. What are his wares? Ask about bounties, drop bounties, and also how do we know about bounties? And also he just said he just manages the store, so maybe not to talk about him. Anyway, I want to ask about Churka Corporation. We don't really care. How often do you go into any brand, let's not advertise any names, any brand store wanting to buy a phone or headphones or a keyboard and go, hey, tell me about your fucking whole company? No, that usually doesn't happen. Anything out of the ordinary happening? I have to go goodbye. Well, so I'm just gonna ask for rumors, I guess. Anything out of the ordinary happening? Is that a coy way of referring to tariffs going down? You don't want my views on that. Again, did you remember about Terrace's distraction? Because I didn't. Not that the game pretty much starts off with it and it's a big point, but yeah, I was really talking about local events. Don't care about them. I stay in the Churka compound. We could be on a pleasure world for all I care, or no. So do we care about his opinion on Taris? No, we just wanted rumors, so let's go back to my first questions. Very well though, I do have work to get back to. So what have you got? Mostly just standard Churka provisions and supplies, not enough to keep the locals happy. Have a look. As usual, we're generally looking for computer spikes and parts for all the hacking we're gonna do eventually. And on Tatooine, we don't really get to hack and repair much, really. I don't remember there being things like that. And I'm talking about going around the world and hacking everything and fixing everything with T3 over there to get that free experience essentially, but stock infinite. So do we buy? We barely have money, and I said that we're gonna need it, so maybe let's hold off on the purchases. Also, there are a bunch of weapons, but we don't really care. So there's that. Great. Now, real business, is it? No. We talked to Wonder. Now let's talk about something else. So, recently a Suez Canal has been blocked by Evergreen, as I remember, a big container ship. And, you know, it made it. So I was thinking, how did that happen? Was it because the captain, as in the driver, was a woman, and that's the incompetence of women drivers? Or is it somehow that the captain and the driver, even though it's not how it works, but the captain, the person responsible for Evergreen, was the same guy that was responsible for Costa Concordia? That would be funny, considering how he was sentenced to prison, as I remember. But then again, he was working in security and then somehow got promoted to captain. Why does that never happen to me? I don't know. So yeah, either a woman or Costa Concordia captain that's supposed to be in jail. That's the joke captains I had in mind. Hopefully you laughed. Thank you.
These are the offices of the Zerka Corporation. I trust you have business with the company. If this is about employment, I'm afraid all regular mining positions are full. And before you ask, we are also no longer selling hunting licenses.
Great, so theoretically they're not gonna send me out, let me out of the city or settlement. Yeah, and also, interesting detail I think, she's got earrings, because she's a woman, you know, to make her pretty and give her detail. They bothered modeling earrings, that's kinda interesting. But of course they never bothered modeling long flowing hair, cause, like mine here, right? Cause that would be too difficult and too limited by the technology, I guess. You know, there's been a talk about this somewhere. Someone talked about this, how in a certain gaming era there is no long hair because you can just, you know, make it like a plank, and that looks awful, so they just decided to have all women having their hair up and tied and neat and shit like that, and I hate it because that makes them look less like a woman. Hunting licenses, we were supposed to get that to get out. We're not gonna be asking for mining jobs anyway. What else did she say? Employment. Oh right, we know about the bounties for some reason, so we might ask about that, and she would give us a license anyway. Yeah, spoilers. So we can ask about that. But anyway, let's see about the rumors. Anything out of the ordinary happening?
I assume that by out of the ordinary, you're referring to the destruction of Terrace? That is all.
Not necessarily.
About. I'm afraid Zerka Corporation is not offering any comment on those events. We wouldn't wish to anger the participants.
Participants? You mean the dead people, or the ones, or the assailants, the Sith? I wouldn't know. Why would again walk into somebody's store, like a brand store, ask for what's brand? Ask for clothes, ask for jeans, and then ask, hey, what's the company's opinion about Russia invading Ukraine? I don't think they would offer a corporate view on the latest events. So, know about anything more local?
If you're looking for local events, I suggest you go to the Swoop Track, one of the few leisure industries on Tatooine. There was also a Jawa here earlier, saying something about needing help. I think he's out by the city gates.
We already talked to him.
Specific about what he wanted. Our droid translators had difficulty with the message.
Intriguing, because we had no problem, but then again, we have magic and they don't. But then again, it's not like language is fucking undecipherable. So, swoop race track, we're not gonna go there because nobody wants to see that. But I might go there off camera and try to get some money. But then again, on Tatooine, swoop race track gives you bonds, and I don't remember what you do with them, so I'd have to Google that. One way or another, I'm gonna have to get more money for the purchase later on, and I haven't checked whether it's actually mandatory or not. So eventually, I'll check on that as well. So let's go back to my first questions.
Very well, though I do have work to get back to.
Yeah, I saw you working, standing in the office. You're like a receptionist, not an officer, like a person who does corporate work other than greeting people coming in. Right. I want to ask about the Churka corporations. No, I don't. Out of the ordinary. Yeah, I actually want to ask about the hunting license. But I really need that hunting license, so what can we do about that?
As I said, we are no longer selling them. There are too many people cavorting about outside the walls as it is.
Right, so don't sell them to me. Give one to me. What are the options? Let's go back. Have there been a lot of people leaving the city? We hardly care. There's no way to get a license? Why would I need a license anyway?
We use them to ensure that only people judged fit by Zerka Corporation are allowed outside the city.
Why?
We allow casual exploration because of legal concerns.
Why?
The corporation takes no responsibility for loss of life on the dunes.
So what's the issue?
Keep track of people. No one leaves the city without a Zerka hunting license.
Don't you have cameras? Isn't that enough? Like facial recognition? I'd imagine facial recognition is already, working over there. Since we've got that in our phones to unlock the phone with your face. As I have a video on that, you should check it out. It's short and it's funny. So yeah, it's a corporate city, but I could have landed outside and no one would have stopped me. No one would have stopped me from coming back in either, because I don't think you swipe it and there isn't a dude on the outside, or maybe I just don't remember. Or would they let me in? They let me in if I land, so why wouldn't they let me in if I walked through the gate? It's just a MacGuffin for you to chase, I guess. There's no way to get a license?
Well, normally we charge 200 credits, but I could make an exception if you agreed to perform a task for us. It's similar to hunting.
Similar.
The sand people are becoming a problem. They destroy our sand crawlers and kill our miners. One particular tribe is the worst. It's as if their chieftain has decided to wage war against us. I would like their attacks terminated. Bring me their gaffy sticks as proof. If you agree to do this, I'll give you a hunting license now and pay a bounty for each stick later. I'll give a bonus for the chieftains.
Sure, I'm fine with that. Money and also the hunting license. And also, I don't think they're exactly farmable, but we're gonna be walking outside and coming across sand people anyway, so why not get the money, right? Why pay for gaffy sticks? Why not their heads?
Which would you rather have dumped on your office floor? Besides, they're ceremonial weapons, unique to each warrior. It's just as good.
Just as good, right? Why not their hands, their ID, their blood samples? I mean, we've got vials, you know. We don't have to dump them on the floor. I'm fine with that. I will agree to do this for you.
Excellent. Now, just so we understand each other, this is an enforceable contract. Zerka Corporation takes this very seriously. Here's your license, and a few directions. We believe one of their enclaves is in the far south of the Dune Sea. You might try following one of our sand crawlers. They're regularly attacked. I wouldn't mind you escorting them.
You've got sand crawlers. I usually, well, you probably do. So I would expect. I don't know how to phrase this. It seems like, personalist. It seems like the sand crawlers are not so much a dominion as it is mostly associated with Jawas. They travel around in sand crawlers because they don't have homes. They're nomads. I don't know. They need to be mobile, so they've got like a massive building on tracks. Why do you? Can't we have anything else? Like as a human species, just for mining? Anyway, my first questions?
Very well. Though
I'm sure. Local talking. I'll have to go. Goodbye.
Well, Zerka Corporation welcomes your future inquiries.
I'm sure. So we've got the license now. We can go out and hunt wraiths, but also we can sell the wraith plate and get into trouble over there as well, because in hunting hey, spoiler, in hunting license there is a bunch of Gamorreans whose names are don't you believe a word of what Zerka Corporation said in there? There is always a peaceful solution to conflict. They are just lazy. So were you eavesdropping? What do you mean? What are you talking about? Is this about Zerka wanting the Sand People chieftain killed? Move aside, I have things to do. What do you mean? What are you talking about? Zerka miners have been attacked by Sand People, so the company Zerka Corporation wants them killed. They didn't ask you to do it? The Sand People aren't animals. I've watched them, and they are intelligent. There must be a way to peacefully stop the attacks. I know it. But no one will try, of course. You can't even leave the city without Zerka approval, and they want the Sand People dead. So why didn't you do that? Would you like me to lend you my hunting license? Are they personalized? As in, is there a name on the card that says only the person with this name is allowed to leave? Or is it just like for show? I mean, I don't know how to phrase this. What would be the term? So whoever has a pass that has no name on it is eligible to leave. Again, activists, right? Do something about it. I'll just stand here and scream to you about you having needing to work on this. You know, some things require people to do things collectively, but some don't. And if you are worried, you should take care of this, because this is just this is an issue you can tackle your own, other than, you know, sending 3 other people to deal with it. Clearly, the Zerka said the Sand People attacked first. Intelligent or not, the Sand People have killed people. Why would you know any better? So all options are pretty cool. Let's inquire about him. Why would you know any better? Perhaps I'm not an expert on diplomatic situations, but I know when there is a lack of due care to the environment and the residents of it. What would you have done? To the Sand People, it must have seemed like an invasion. There were no negotiations for territory or resources. I don't think the killing has been justified, but as a conservationist, I'm hoping someone at least tries to talk this out. How about you? Why don't you do this? It must have seemed like an invasion. You know, how many invasions do Sand People experience, really? This is a desert planet. What are they fighting for? Their territory? Also, one of their enclaves is to south of the Dune Sea, whatever the Zerka officer said, or representative said. Only one, so why won't we go over to all of them and try to, like, you know, convince most of them to seize, so they can pressure the remaining one into submission or cooperation. Also, which one will be the one that holds Isis's tribe in? Probably the only modeled one, right? So what a coincidence. What would you suggest? Why hasn't anyone tried talking to them? Oh, great, I understand now. So he's here, but what was he complaining about in the previous episode, essentially? He was there yelling, and I don't know what about. And was it Was he there actually complaining about trying to save sand people's lives? I don't know, maybe. It's not implausible, I guess. So, also, what was I on about? This dude was talking about peaceful solutions. And invasion, right? So what is there to defend? And when you see people digging in the ground, presumably like in the sand, like in this case, would you assume that's an invasion? They're digging to the ground. They're not driving over you. I mean, sand people are already a primitive tribe, primitive people. So I would think they would understand invasion. They would see people walking towards them or riding at them as an invasion, as opposed to just settling next to them and digging down. How advanced are they that they know the tactics of digging tunnels underneath their settlements to be driven off like that? What would be the benefit of that anyway? You would need a wide tunnel to get your forces through, otherwise it will be a choke point. That would be beneficial for the Sand people if they were defending. So there's that. Also, again, how many times did Sand people come across these tactics used against them that they will worry that someone is digging down to get under their village and succeed in attacking them? Maybe they are just fucking stupid and we shouldn't care about their lives. I don't, but he's here to give us a certain information. What do you suggest? What would you suggest then? Why hasn't anyone tried talking to them? I will deal with the matter as I see fit. But we're kind of curious, so let him lead you down the road of the thing here. Why hasn't anyone tried talking to them? Well, there is the small matter that they don't seem to speak a language that your average translator can understand. Is that their fault? There was even a Jedi here a few years ago that couldn't seem to get through to them. I think that ended in blood too. I'm not saying it would be easy, but someone has to try. Maybe with a real translation droid, not these old protocol scrap heaps walking around. So there was a Jedi a few years ago here and he gave up? Intriguing. Anyway, this conflict has been going on for years as well, and neither side decided to stop. So who's more stubborn? Also, this has been going on for years, and all these attempted invasions went nowhere, but Sand people just harassed the settlement anyway. They haven't figured it out either. So again, clearly they're just fucking stupid, and their culture is not better than our culture, because we didn't attack them and we didn't do any moves that would be taken as aggression towards them. So again, just eradicate the stupid, I guess. Oh, and yeah, it's not their fault that they speak language nobody else understands, but it kind of would be their fault that they are not willing to teach anyone the language. And also, it's kind of your fault that you're not willing to learn the language beforehand. Somehow, I don't know where would you get the samples of the language to learn from beforehand, to before coming here to Tatooine and trying to mine and establish diplomatic relationships with Sand people. But then you came here not knowing anything. I mean, you know, when you travel as a tourist to a given country, you should know the common speech. We're already on Earth, so there is pretty much a lingua franca already, or their local language, so you can communicate, right? It's not on them to accommodate every tourist with 7,000 languages around the world. So someone fucked up here, and now it shouldn't be up to me to fix it. So why don't you do something? Why should I? Someone else has to. I've got no influence with Cherka Corporation. I can't afford what Yuka Laka charges for this droid, and I wouldn't survive. Well, what I mean is, whoever tries to deal with the Sand people would first have to survive their initial attacks. I wouldn't. Someone could maybe get into their enclave if they could disguise themselves, but you'd have to get real desert robes. That would be dangerous too. So again, they clearly do not want any peace attempts. So we're the better people here, trying to be peaceful, right? But they don't want it. So you can't force peace on them with peace, clearly. So you just need to eradicate them, right? You try again. I don't know. Did you try, or were you just, or is it that you know that every attempt was met with slaughter, and you wouldn't? I'd say maybe reasonably, you wouldn't try to put your life at risk. But then again, why not, right? 'Cause, right, you old altruist, put your life on the line. Yeah. Maybe risking your life is not that interesting of a solution. So there's that. Again, just eradicate the stupid. They had their chance. We've given them chances. Where would be the thing? Yuka Laka. Where would the robes be? Maybe I'll look into it. I'll deal with the matter as I want. Where would you get robes to match theirs? I suppose you could take them off of the warrior raiders in the Dune Sea, but there's no way you'd survive anything like that. Plus, you would have to explain why you killed their warriors if you are trying to make peace, but I suppose there is no other way. Again, one of the explanations, self-defense. We really tried to come here peacefully, but you attacked us again. So that's one. Off of the warriors in Dune Sea. You could get them off of the warriors in Dune Sea, provided that first off you survive their attacks, second you can defeat them, and third you can get to the Enclave. Again, the obstacles are just piling up. Gather up men with blasters and blast the motherfuckers. And what about the droid? So, he said about the droid, but I don't see any options now. Where would be the Enclave? We already know, south of the Dune Sea or something. Maybe I'll look into it. Sure, that's what Churka corporations keep saying, and then they just start shooting again. The fighting won't stop until they are all dead. Or until the Churka leave. The one is as likely as the other, with the way things are going. Bah, what do I know? So there's that. Again, you're risking your life for the peace of others towards the tribe that doesn't want peace and was always the aggressor. And they were too stupid to figure out over years that we were not really attacking them. So maybe it's time to just fuck them up. Right. So after that dump, and avoiding the option of talking to the dude about the droid, he dropped the name Yuka Laka, and essentially we can either go around and look for that, or just, you know, be the good player and enter every place there is on the map until you get in here to Droid Shop, meeting Yuka Laka, the Ithorian, and talk about his unique protocol droid. So there is that, in case you were wondering. In case you weren't curious enough, that's what he was there for, to lead you down that option first off, and second, let you know about the thing we're also interested in. I'm also interested in. Now Hunting Lodge, and see if Sharina will talk to us again. Oh, not this time. Okay, that's fine. So Hunting Lodge. The other thing that happened not so recently is Daft Punk, the musical duo, falling apart. I'm not sure if I talked about this already, but I wanted to mention how they seem to have had a long-standing, well, obviously, right, long-standing career and shit, and they were doing fine, and then they decided to just stop. And it's always curious, right? Why would that happen? Was it because they were too poor to afford the musical equipment and touring, so they weren't promoted enough, they weren't making enough money, so they had to split up and find, quote, a real job, unquote? Or was it, could it have been because some interpersonal conflict? And we essentially, well, we're not privy to that, right? But like I must have mentioned that somewhere. I definitely mentioned a bit of it in my Spec Ops The Line playthrough, where there was my favorite channel of a bunch of guys about video games, and they just, one day they just ended it. And after all these things, you know, they were running for 9 years or some shit, and one day they just stop, and you don't know why, and they give those cordial thanks and closing speeches essentially, and you don't know why it all happened. Like, they had another guy who left, and he said, from what I gathered, he said he needs break from video games, and then he starts his own channel about video games a month later. So that seems like a fucking sham, scam, a lie. So that's not convincing. And they say they're falling apart, and thanks and all. So why did they fall apart? Because of interpersonal conflict again? They seem to be liking each other, right? And then were they all putting up a show for the show, for the business? They were trying to have at least good working relationships, or at least look good for the camera, because you know money is involved. And they just decided to stop. Like again, how long did Daft Punk was going for? Over a decade, I think. I don't really know. And then one day they decided to fall apart because they didn't like each other. Did one of them get imposter syndrome, feeling like they don't deserve the success? Only 2012 to 10 years into the making, they decided to feel. Yeah, they surely decided to feel. One of them decided. Yeah, again, one of them felt like they're not really deserving of the success, but they were going with it for 5, 10, 15 years. I don't know. So yeah, curious, always curious about human motivations, especially the unknown ones. Because I'm not, so far I don't see any other option. Why would that happen? So, I don't know. Daft Punk, call me and tell me what's going on. I barely care. Number 1 fan here, right here. So, Faza Utral. He's the boss around here. So let's get his deal going. Well, a new face, and your face in my face. Come to test your skill on the endless dunes of Tatooine. Faza's Lodge is the place to arrange it. This world might not have much, but it does have the meanest predators this side of the galactic rim. A hunter's paradise. A hunter's paradise hunting predators. You know, we as humans here on Earth usually actually don't hunt predators. We don't hunt because I guess all the predators are endangered species, I guess, somehow, because they're predators and they're so successful in the wild. There might be multiple causes involved. I don't want to get into detail to ruin my own joke. But we hunt deer, we hunt pigeons, we hunt geese, we hunt ducks, we hunt boars, we hunt do we hunt bears? Not really. Fish, we hunt fish. Some of the fish are predators though, so, but some of them aren't. We hunt fish. What else do we hunt? We mostly farm. So what else do we hunt? So yeah, deer, elk, that's the difference. Moose, right? Those are not predators, so it's not better to do that. We don't hunt wolves. We just kill them to stop them from hunting our stock. We hunt foxes, but just for sport, really, and they're not that challenging once you've got a horse, a rifle, and hunting dogs. So, yeah, what a paradise, I'm sure. Also, shooting a lion is not that hard either. Hunter's Paradise, I have something to sell you. Yeah, that's the quest. Other than that, anything out there or anything out of the ordinary happening? You mean here on Tatooine or just in general? I heard about the destruction of Taris. Don't know anything specific. I'm not surprised something like it happened. I remember the Exar Kun War and how Sith and the Jedi fought across worlds. Don't have much interest in either group, but act like they're above my concerns, and I guess they are. Know anything about more local? Churka Corporation is always complaining about Sun people. I stay out of it. We hunt animals, not people. And I guess the Jawas are being pushed around again. Again? At least that's what I think they said, though it's hard to tell sometimes. You have to talk to these groups yourself for more. I keep to myself. That's why I've got a hunting lodge, to keep to myself and be left alone. Right, so I guess we're asking about rumors to find the fucking star map on the entire planet instead of just landing here. Where's the star map? Where's the star map? Someone clue me in. We're just, you know, looking for this star map is just stumbling across a plot. We're just here because we have to be, otherwise the game wouldn't be happening. That's kind of lame, you know, I think. Pretty sure. Like bad writing. You know, some clues, like... something easy, something simple, like, you know, oh, last time Revan was reported to be seen in these areas, so maybe try there. I don't know why would Revan allow himself to be seen, and why would they know? But at least you would have a reason to be in this place instead of just, you know, flying around the planet until your magical spider sense detects the map around and just say, hey, stop here and land directly down there, and we'll just wander the deserts endlessly until we stumble across what we're looking for. Or again, the Ebon Hawk scanners that would have sampled the ruins, but they haven't. Figure it out. Like, I figured it out. Why haven't you? So, are we going under this assumption, or are we going under the assumption that the game is bad? Let me know in the comments. Anyway, I have something to sell you. So I see, that's the biggest desert raid skull plate I've seen in a season. Whoever got that was a skilled hunter. I'll give a premium price on that one. I've a buyer that puts a special request. Does 500 credits sound fair? Oh, looks like we don't have an option to extort more. So, what if I go, never mind? Come back when you actually have something. Don't waste my time. Well, it looks like we don't have options. So it's 500 or nothing. And we can chip in for her from our own money. Something to sell you, yes. Yes, that'll do nicely. I thought it would. Do you have anything else to sell? Not now. Do you have anything for sale or trade? I might have something. Wouldn't be much of a lodge if I couldn't keep the hunters stocked. Right. So, with a fucking dual reverse card, have you got anything to sell? But how about you? Have you got anything to sell? And he goes, yes. Huh. Fuck you then. Right, so medpacks, guns, and a few mods. Nothing we're interested in. So 500 credits it is for us. So let's go out, talk to the woman, and then we're gonna come back here looking for more clues about where the star map is. Because, again, that's why we are here. Woman, I sold your shit.
You're back. Please, have you sold the plate I gave you? My children and I are counting on the credits.
Yes, I have sold the plate.
You have? Did Faza give you a good price? How much did you get for us?
He actually gave us a pretty low price. You said it's worth more than 500, and he gave us 500 flat. He paid 200 more than you thought, so you can be the good guy and give her your own money instead of just buying it from her or you know, shit. You know. He paid full value. Here it's all yours. The plate wasn't worth as much as you said. And I got a good price, you get nothing. So how evil you wanna be? A bit, all the way, very good, or just neutral? I'm going with the medium. We've been talking about this for 2 episodes, I think. The plate wasn't worth as much as you said.
What do you mean? My husband was sure it was worth 500 credits. He was so proud.
The options, take half and stay healthy, understand? Or else. He was wrong. I swear it was only worth half. Force persuade. It was only worth half what you said. Actually, I'm mistaken. I'll come back. You know, I got your hopes up, but you know, whoopsie. I made a typo here, and for some reason the whole chain of dialogue we went down on wasn't really valid. So there it is. So we're skimming half of her either way. So, yeah, let's go with Force Persuade, because I didn't put points in Persuade this time. Force Persuade. It was only worth half what you said.
Half is acceptable to me. I agree. It will have to do. I thank you, I guess. Maybe it's enough.
It troubles me to see you behaving this way. Such acts can lead to the dark side.
I don't care, Bastila. I'm fine with being evil. Actually. What is this? 150 experience, I take it, not credits. So, right, so, on one hand, the guy her husband was, I don't know, thoughtful, giving her something she could sell to start anew in case something happened to him. But then again, the whole idea of giving you an engagement ring and or more like a wedding band is that you have something to sell in case your husband dies, so you can live off of. And then again, but again, this is the futuristic society. Maybe get a job. Maybe get a job. Equality, right? Why don't you do that? I mean, you got a head start here with the 250, but then again, you could have gotten a job first and then tried to sell it to get something extra in case that wasn't working out. But no. No, equality is only good as long as you don't have to work. So yeah, equality, you either get equal pay as some sort of CEO of a business, or just get a handout for free, because that's equality, right? Right. So that's the quest. We got some money out of it. I was expecting 250 either way, but I guess she gets less this time. So, well, this time, every time, but in our playthrough she gets that. She gets that. So now we're supposed to kill people outside, or hang out in Yuka Laka's shop. We might just hang out in Yuka Laka's shop, cause right, and we were supposed to talk to people inside the lodge as well, cause that triggers events as well. So shouldn't have gone anywhere. So that'll be it for today. I got through 2 things I wanted to mention. I've got 2 more, so I'll talk about that later on, somewhere, sometime. Thanks for sticking by, hopefully you enjoyed, and I can't wait to see you in something else I play for you for free.